Hello, Hope. Welcome, guys. I tried um, to do it all over again, to start the live stream all over again. But I realized, that if I don't have the filter, if I don't have the restriction on the comments, there's just very random spammers, people spamming things. Like, I don't know where these people come from, or if they're people, if these are bots, I don't know. But it's just so uncomfortable to see them, just posting whatever in the comment section. So I had to end it because I have to do it on the computer, to arrange it. I cannot just do it on the phone. It's not, I cannot be spontaneous and just, start the live stream just like this, because, it gets awful. And also, like, it's not, it's like very like disturbing for you guys, because if I have one of you that can moderate, you have to block a lot of people. So it's like a lot of work for something that is supposed to be like a very chill experience. Yes. What crown? Hope. What crown? My crown? I don't have one. So yeah, I'm going to start over with the Stray Kids, with the Virgos in the Stray Kids. Poor Felix. I was about to start his reading and I got disconnected. So I don't know what is it, because actually, the Wi-Fi, the internet connection is stable. I think it's the phone, probably. It's the phone. It's charged, like it has 100% of battery, so there's nothing wrong with it. But I don't know what is it that it goes crazy. The other day that I had this, that I had these Wednesdays of astrological placement, also the live stream was all glitching, awful. So I don't know how I will have to, arrange this. But yeah, I'm going to start all over. Waiting for people to join. So yes, I'm going to try to do this as fast as possible so you cannot miss anything if I disconnect again. I hope not. Okay. Ah, yes, the sun. You mean the sun card? That it does like a crown. Oh, thank you. Okay. For Felix, 5 of Wands, Knight of Wands, the Magician, the Hierophant, and the Justice. So, and then Queen of Pentacles, practicality. So yeah, I think that, like I was mentioning before the internet cut, and I was asking if Felix is like, if he's like the center of the group, because I think that it's very fitting that he has the Magician in the middle of the reading, because probably this year, it has been a year where he was able to adapt, and he will continue to adapt. He will continue to shine. There's something about him, mastering his own experience and his own talents, and being like, okay, whatever you guys need of me, I will do this. But also being very much in control. I think that, I don't know if there's something about, maybe people sometimes think that he is a bit lost, but no, not at all. I think that with the Magician in the middle, there's a lot of intelligence. There's a lot of like, I don't think that Felix is someone that he plans. I think that this was a year where he probably was like, okay, yeah, whatever, opportunity I have, I will do it. I will do my best. But I don't see him like being that like hungry for being in the center or being in the spotlight. It's just that his way of managing his career or his image is very smooth. And he just goes with the flow of whatever the group needs or whatever people need of him. We start with the Five of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So I'm like, the first time I saw this, I'm like, he definitely comes from moments of resistance. I think that, I don't know if he got an opportunity or if he got something, that there's something about, his recent past has been very active, in the sense that I think that there was competition at some point in the group. I don't know if he felt like he had to win something or if he had to fight for something in the group. And this I was saying before, before the video cut. I was saying how usually when we see Felix, he's someone that it seems like he's a very soft spoken, that he's very sweet, that he's very his energy seems very chill. But seeing here the Knight of Wands and the Five of Wands, I think that he I don't know, he fought for something. He competed with the other members to get something. I don't know if it was a part in a song or it was the participation in something that he wanted for himself. But I think that he's showing me that there were moments of push and pull. There were moments where maybe he had differences with certain people. It could be in the group, it could be with the company, it could be with other co-workers of his. But I think that initially in the near past, he's like, I'm able to be this magician because I was very strategic about what I wanted. I think that he got very passionate and he got very strong and just very dominating in this aspect. Maybe in the past, someone that he, like I said about the magician, that usually he's someone that it seems he adapts. It's like, okay, whatever I have to do, I will do my best to perfectionate this. But I think that in the past there was a project or there was something that he had to fight for this, or he had to step up. There's something about him being like, okay, if I don't say something or if I don't act right now, it can get taken away from me. So, or maybe him being a bit much more responsive to when there's like drama in the group or when there's these differences in the group. I think that he was also able to raise his voice and be like, okay guys, like enough of this. Or maybe this could be the fans. I don't know if Felix had like I think that it's more like an unpleasant encounter with someone that sort of made him a bit angry. Like usually he's not like this, but there's something about him feeling like, okay, this is a conflict. This is a conflict, and I have to say something about this. I have to get in the warrior mode. I have to defend myself, or I have to defend my point of view, or I have to speak up. I just have to do something about this because there's a lot of competition, or maybe there's something about him being like, in the past few months, things hasn't been, that maybe that peaceful among the members neither. Maybe there's like different opinions. So he had to somehow raise his voice, and when we think about Felix's voice, it's like very interesting because I don't know why. I think that it takes a while for him to get like this. So I wonder what happened. But I think that it also has to do with him maybe speaking up for his own opportunities. I mean, like, hello, I would like this for myself. It like the ones, the Knight of Wands is all about determination. It's all about being passionate. It's all about being straightforward about what do you want. And somehow this has to do with also with how fast you sort of show up. I don't know if there was like, okay, the first one that arrives here is going to get this. And he's like, okay, I'm going to be the first one. I'm going to defeat the others and I'm going to get my opportunity. But I think that maybe this is something that he really wanted, or it's something that he really felt the urge to become competitive. It's like, okay, I usually don't do this, but since I see that, everyone is wants this, I want this for myself as well. So maybe it's like a creative process or something, but I see him like he got very, I don't want to say aggressive, but there's something about him really showing that he really wanted this. And probably maybe, in the usual moments, probably Felix is someone that he adapts, to whatever the others want to do. And in this case, he was like, no, I want this. So, I have to be more assertive, and I have to be fast. But yeah, with the magician, I think that he's, whatever he wants, he's getting this year. It feels like he's back in the center. This is why I was like asking, is he the center of Stray Kids? I'm sure he's not. I believe, Hope, you said that it was Hyunjin. So yeah, but I think that there's something just very interesting about this, because I think that Felix was the center of Stray Kids, maybe when Hyunjin wasn't there. But I think that he took, now that we're talking about the crown or the throne, I feel it like he was able to take that role probably when Hyunjin wasn't around, and somehow that changed. Like, yeah, probably, the fans, or probably, people that know the group, they're like, no, Hyunjin is the official center or the official something. But for me, I think that Felix role is like, he's that person that you're like, yeah, they say that he's not the center, but when he appears or when he takes over the center, even if it's just for a few seconds, everyone talks about him, and it's him, and it's Felix, and everything goes back to Felix. So I don't know, maybe it's popularity, maybe it's him, being someone that, just gets your attention, and you probably initially are like, paying attention to the other members, and then he appears and you forget about the others. I don't know. I think that he has, this very attractive aura. And this is why I think that is so important for him to feel this, to recognize that, yeah, I may not always be in the spotlight, but when I take over those tiny minutes, seconds, people talk about me. And I feel it, I recognize it in me, how important I am, how he's so intelligent. There's something about Felix having a lot of talents. I think that, maybe the fans are like, yeah, we know, but I don't know, guys. I don't know much of him. So there's something about him this year in particular, standing up for himself and being like, I want better. Give me more opportunities. Give me more solo work or activities. I don't know, but I think that he's a good speaker as well. This is why I'm like, the magician, it sounds like the master of ceremony, and it's very funny because they have a song that is called Ceremony. So but there's something with the magician that is telling me, like, this the master of ceremony in the group is supposed to be someone else, and maybe there's like, the fans know it's like, no, it's this member, but this card is like, at the end is Felix. At the end is Felix. I don't know if Felix is not recognized enough, or if, some people know, but just out of respect for the others, they're like, no, originally, the leader is the one that speaks the most, or the leader is the one that takes over the communication. But this card is like, Felix has a lot of potential. And he's starting to see it himself. Maybe he's getting a good feedback from the audience, So he's starting to be like, oh, people have been saying really nice things about my work, so I would like to expand on this. I would get definitely Felix as a spokesperson for the group or for another activity of his. He's just a very charming guy. It's just that I think that they don't use him enough. But then we have, in the near future, we have the Hierophant and we have the Justice. So probably, this is why I'm asking, what is going on in JYP, the company? What is going on in JYP? Because I don't know if it's because of the whole, I read for twice and the renewal of the contract and everything. I don't know if there's something about them having to change strategies and all of the sudden starting to pay attention to people that usually they don't pay attention to or not enough attention. But I think that there's something about them giving Felix the right treatment or giving Felix what he wants. There's something about fairness in here with the Justice and the Hierophant. There's something about them being like, okay, you're ready. We're giving you this. This is your chance. This is your moment. We give you our blessing. Go and do it. So there's something important coming. There's something important coming. It seems like they are starting to, see maybe his evolution or seeing, how how intelligent he has been about certain, certain movements or maybe certain things that the group has been doing. And he has been doing great. So, yeah, definitely. I think that maybe there's something that, sorry, I want to, it's raining harder in here. So I don't know if you can hear it, if you can hear the sound of the rain. But I think that there's something about, the company finally giving Felix what he deserves. And being like, okay, you done great. You had been, because I think that there's something about Felix being like not settling for less now. It's like, I'm going to start to speak up about certain things, or I'm going to start to show you that, I matter or that I'm important. I definitely do see it. And we have the Queen of Pentacles at the end, that is his practicality. So I can see him working on something, materializing something. A lot of effort, practicality. Also, the Queen of Pentacles is someone that is very successful already. Is very stable. I don't think that it's something he has to start from scratch, or it's, that he has to produce something to do with something that he has been working on for a lot of years, but now to put a lot of practice and finally, coming back with results. But this year is going to end very productively for Felix. Either he's going to start to, sorry guys, I got disconnected again. But yeah, I don't know what is going on with my internet today. But yeah, good for Felix. Okay, I'm going to continue with Seungmin. Very emotional, Seungmin. Very emotional man. Yeah, a lot of cups I get for him. A lot of cups. Okay, we have Three of Swords. We have the Fool. We have the 10 of Cups in the middle. We have the Tower. And we have the Ace of Cups. So what happened with Seungmin? Did someone break his heart? because he feels so nostalgic, so in his feelings, that I'm like, what is going on? And we have the Knight of Cups, that is his charm. But somehow, the I don't know if he's like going through a breakup or there's something, but I think that Seungmin, no EXO, Stray Kids. Assuming with the card of charm, the Knight of Cups, is giving me that he sort of, I don't know. I want to say sad boy. Does he have the sad boy vibes? Like does he have this energy of like, oh, I'm so heartbroken about or disappointed about something that maybe it's like a mystery. You don't. It's a vibe that he has that he usually has this face or this attitude that he's someone that went through a lot of divorces somehow, or never, maybe he never been in a relationship, but there's something about him being like, oh, a sad boy, or always being heartbroken, or disappointed in something. And I kind of see him, him being very moody, very like it's like a change in his energy. Like there's moments where he looks very bright and just like he's over it, and then there's moments where he goes back to be this nostalgic person. I don't know, because I think that he doesn't communicate it. It's not about something that he says, it's more that his vibe is like this. It feels like he's someone that he's in his feelings all the time, or that he's someone very sensitive. Like you have to treat him with care, because he's very sensitive. Probably he's going to get offended by the tiniest little detail. It seems like this, like he must come with a warning that it says like treat with care, fragile. But he's also very smart. So I think that he probably is part of his charm, that he's this like this sad boy. Like he's giving me sad boy, like life, oh life is so uncertain, life. And because I don't see a person, someone that broke his heart, but there's something about him being like, yeah, sad no more, with the Three of Swords and the Fool, we start the reading. So I think that Seungmin, yeah, he could from time to time maybe get offended by two, or there's something about him not agreeing on certain things and just take it to heart, being like, oh wow, you didn't consider me in this, you didn't ask me for permission, or you didn't think of consulting me about this. Like he's heartbroken very often. He gets disappointed very often, I would say. But with the Fool card, there's something about him being like, this year I will take it easy. Like, okay, you don't want to include me in your plans, you don't want to ask me, you don't want to talk to me, whatever. With the Fool, it's like, maybe he's maturing, and maybe he's like, okay, there's some things that will never change accordingly to his perception, because it's giving me that he can be a bit cynic if he wants to. Or I don't know, I don't want to say cynic, but there's something about him being, I cannot think of a word. Ironic. He's a bit ironic about things, like, oh, you might offended me, but well, yeah, it wasn't that bad. I moved on. So yeah, he's starting over, I guess. Maybe his relationship with the guys is a bit like, yeah, now I like you, but tomorrow I will not like you, or there's a bit of like, yeah, I don't get you, you don't get me, I don't like you, you don't like me. So a breakup, and okay, today we're cool, tomorrow we don't know. With him, it's very unstable with him, but he gets over it. I think that this is why, if there's some people that maybe if you observe him and you're like, oh my god, they offended him, or look how they treated him, he moves on very fast. He's not someone that holds grudges. It's just that when you look at him, it seems like he's serious. This is why he has this sort of you hurt my feelings, like, watch what you're doing, you hurt my feelings. So, but at the same time, for him, it's not that serious. So maybe it's part of his, he's playful like that. But maybe people, really buy it. They are like, oh my God, what did they do to Seungmin in there? Someone must have hurt his feelings. And because he does, give this perception. I even got it myself. I'm like, wow, like, oh my God. But then I see the fool and I'm like, he's starting over. And in the middle, we have the 10 of Cups. So he's not that sad boy. He's not that sad. He's very happy with the group. He's very happy with his family. He's very happy. He's very loved. He has a beautiful community, a beautiful group of friends. He's very well supported emotionally. Probably, working with the guys, they are his family. So it's just that maybe he does quarrel, he does fight a lot with the members, or there's like some, emotional, like, oh, you said this and that you weren't paying attention to me, or you weren't, taking into consideration how I feel. He's very emotional, but also very changeable. But he loves his members. He loves the members. He loves everyone. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. It's just that, yeah, a lot of Cups. So I don't see much about work. I think that this year is about him probably, realizing how important this group of people are for him. There's something about him going back to, maybe he did break up with someone, and with the fool, there's something about him starting over and having, to go back and have the support of the group, the family, the community of his, that maybe because, he was involved in a connection, he didn't, got that much attached with them. Because I see something about him valuing, his group more, or maybe the people around him, he's starting to value them more, their connection more. And I think that for him, if he's recovering from a heartache, this is helping him a lot. This is a great year for this, a great year for emotional healing. This is why I'm like, this is about relationships, obviously. This is not about work. I don't see, I mean, at least I don't see it here, because probably whatever is going on, I think that his emotional world is like a roller coaster. You never know what you're going to get with him. What I do feel is that he values relationships a lot, or he values connections a lot, and whatever happens in those connections affects his mood, his life, his ear. His ear is all about, emotions, sentiments, like feelings. We have the Tower and the Ace of Cups. So, there's certain dynamics in his group of friends, or in the group, or maybe with his family, or it's like it's going to be hard for him to trust again. I guess this is why, I think that he mentally, he can move on fast and be like, okay, I'm starting over. But then, it's really hard for him to open up again, into love or trust. Even it can affect his, I don't know if he writes his own lyrics, or he writes, I don't know why I feel like he's very romantic, and he could write like poems or something like this. But there's something about this sort of situation that he has emotionally. It can affect a bit, having a bit of trust issues in the future, and not being able to also connect artistically because of this. Feeling a bit lost in relationships, not knowing who do I trust, who do I open up to, now that, there's certain bonds that are sort of ending. But, just like the tower always shows you that, whatever is breaking, or whatever is like falling apart, it's because it wasn't meant to be, or it's not, it's not strong enough. It wasn't real enough. This is why it doesn't sustain itself. So maybe for him, this is like a brand new perspective of relationships, and like, okay, sometimes we think that we can trust certain people, and then, they disappoint us, or then they go away, or then, things just fall apart, and then we become strangers. So I think that for him, he could be a bit sentimental. this year, and until the year ends. It feels like relationships are affecting his mood. But yeah, the Knight of Cups, charm. This is about him going back, going back to love and just, believing in love again, or becoming romantic again, or just being available emotionally. The Knight of Cups is like, the charm. He's a very charming person. He's very young. He's very romantic. He's very romantic. I wonder if relationships are really important for him. I see it that it's more important than his own career, I would say, because I feel it here. I feel it. Yeah. Yeah, and with the kind of charm, it's like, he can be single for a while, or actually, being in this process of like, I want to be alone, I want to go back to myself. But then with the Knight of Cups, it's like he will fall in love again. So yeah, it's all about relationships. It's very similar, it's giving me very similar to, because he does have some placements, especially Sun and Moon, like Exochen, Virgo Sun and Cancer Moon. And I have dated some people that have these placements, and they are all about relationships. They are always in relationships, or they are always in love, or they are about to fall in love. So, and they are very family-centered people. So, maybe this is why for Seungmin I get all these love cards, and I'm like, I'm trying to, stay, in his career, but yeah, it seems like his emotional world, it's the one that calls the shots. Is his most important part. This is why it's showing up. And he loves to be loved, probably. He loves relationships. Okay, I'm going to continue with Han. Stray Kids Han. Is he collaborating with a woman? Because I think that this woman came up in his reading, and I'm seeing it again. Someone please go back to the romance reading that I did for them, and please tell me if this woman appears again, because I'm like, who is this? Queen of Swords, Two of Cups, Three of Cups in the middle, the Chariot, and the Lovers. And we have the Queen of Wands, Determination. So yeah, it feels like a lot of collaborations for him. A lot of collaborations. Also, there's someone very interested in him that they reach out to him. They're like, I want to work with you. There's someone like he does have a lot of famous people, or maybe other artists that they really love what he does and they want to collaborate with him, or maybe they are like, oh, he's so great. Like, I admire him so much. I want to meet him, or I want to collaborate with him. Like, there's something about someone being very outspoken about, and honest about how much they want to work with him, or how much they want to get to know him. He's actually very popular, very popular. Like, he does have a lot of famous fans, I would say, female fans. But this could be another artist as well. This could be another artist. Be like, I want to collaborate with you. I have this idea and I want you to be on this. Or maybe this happened already because it comes from the past. So maybe this is like something that happened already. But yeah, I think that the Three of Cups is definitely, is like very similar to what I see for Seungmin. Changeable, he's like very charming, it's relationships, it's all about, falling out of love and falling back in love, but I think that for Han is different. For Han is like, I'm so, because Seungmin got the 10 of Cups in the middle, and people, my community, and I think that for Han is the same, feeling very emotional. The Three of Cups again, like, I love my people, I love my group, like I'm glad we are together doing this. Like, this could be like the third Racha also, Three of Cups, three people, him and two others. for him this year, it's all about collaboration. It's not about self. It's not about what I want, or sharing his talents and what he knows with others. And he's loving this. He's so hopeful also about the future. I think that Han has recovered his willpower, his fire, his inner fire, his confidence, his determination. He's feeling so productive, also so inspired. I remember there were years where I would pull cards for Han, and I would get, very mixed emotions, mixed feelings and perceptions of his being a bit lost, But I think that the Han of 2025 and probably the beginning of 2026 is someone that is working for his people. He's also someone that has a good, emotional support from his people. He's feeling the love. He's giving the love to others. He's very satisfied with his friends. His people, which is part of something important. And for him, that he's, very emotional, he's a very sensitive person. For him, he's like, I don't care about me. I care about my people. I care about my group. Whatever I do is for them, or is share with them, or is to share. He's not selfish at all. He's not thinking about like, oh, I want the spotlight, like give me the recognition. No, he's not like that at all. He's not like that. And actually, I think that with the Three of Cups, there's something about him be like, without the others, I'm nothing. Without the others, I here. So to keep advancing with the group, we have the Charts and we have the Lovers. So a lot of collaboration. I think that is like Han and other people. He's going to keep advancing in his career. I think that nothing can stop him. But I don't know. I feel like as this, they're like, put to him. Can you do this? Can you let him know? He's very popular. He's a very popular. Another member that I'm like, I don't know if JYP is able to catch this and make the most of these opportunities. I don't know, but somehow I'm like, because I also, it's so interesting because for Han, I don't see cards of swords. I don't see communication. So probably it's like he's very loved and respected in the industry. But and it's like he feels the love, and for him, or he feels the and for him that's enough. I see something like maybe the company doing something about this, or just creating like I don't want to say alliances, but there's something about like, oh, here's our contact information, like giving it back here, here, and there's like not. But for Han is like this. He's like, I'm not interested in. He really is not interested in. I think that he feels honored that maybe there's people that know about him and that respect what he does. And he's like, I appreciate it. But, at the end, he wants to go back to the group. Or maybe he feels safer working with the guys and just the guys and not other person. But I see someone very interested in him, a woman. So I'm like, she could actually push to because she does have the influences to get to a collaboration with him or to work with him under something, or maybe to ask him for, can you please give me a review about this? What do you think about this? But she loves his voice. She loves it. But yeah, a lot of advances this year for him, and probably the beginning of 2025 is going to be very successful for Han. He's going to keep advancing, keep moving, no issue. It's just that with the Lovers, I think that there's a duality in here, and probably it's like, the guy is very successful and he's really good at being consistent in his work. But with the duality, I think that maybe there's part of the people or the audience or the fandom. There's people that they love Han, and then there's people that they don't like him very much. There's this duality in the reception of the people. It's like there's people that really see what he does and how it seems like he has become stronger this year, and he's going to keep showing this strength, this determination. And maybe, there could be people being like, oh, why is he acting like this? Oh, want attention? Or like, no, he's just advancing, because they are growing, they're expanding, they're maturing. And maybe, maybe this is about being, some part of the fandom that are solo stans and people being jealous. I mean, like, why does he get this and my bias doesn't get this? The comparison and all. I think that there's this duality with Han. There's people that are really happy for him and the way he's going to keep advancing. And then there's others that they're like, oh, I don't like it that much. I prefer the other member. So yeah, there's always going to be a duality about how people receive what Han is been doing. But the good thing is that, he will keep advancing no matter what. So, this is great for him. Yeah, Queen of Wands, determination, a lot of queens. So I think that also the women in his life, like a manager or a CEO or a coach, like, I think that he should connect a lot more with the female in the industry, because they get Han, or they get sensitivity, or he could do really good with them. He could work very good under the management of a woman, especially someone that is very passionate, and someone that is, because he's so, he's such a good team worker, and he's so empathic, that he creates wonders, because it's all about group, and it's all about improvement, and it's all about being better. And I think that this year he's anxiety free, and this is why I'm so happy, because usually when I read for some, Virgo people, Virgo idols, Virgo men, Virgo women, sometimes, they show quite a bit of anxiety, and they worry, and they get nervous, and they get a bit sad, but in his case, I see a lot of union. I see him so happy, and I see him advancing, and I love this for Han. I think that this is great for him. I like it. Okay, I'm going to continue with TXT Yeonjun. TXT Yeonjun. He's still the same passionate man. He's much more mature than the other years. I believe last year I got the Knight of Wands, and now I see, a King of Wands. So he has become much more mature and more confident himself. Probably it's because of the opportunities of growth that he has been getting. So yes, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the King of Wands, we have the Swords, we have the Empress, and we have the Hangman. And then a lot of money on this member, on this man. And then, from the other deck, I have the card of the Hierophant, that usually I call this the company card, but in here, the keyword, it says unlearn. Unlearn. So somehow he's being called to, like, there's certain things that he has been taught, or he has been, trained to do, that somehow this card is like, go against the rules a bit and learn a few things that you feel like are keeping you stuck. Don't be such a good guy all the time. Don't be such a good boy. Don't follow always what the company tells you. Somehow, you can change a bit the route and go your way, because he's super charming. They will not notice. But there's something about, for you to be successful somehow, do of your own. Because maybe there's some certain rules or certain, things that he learned or he was taught that they're not of good use for his career. Yeah, I see a lot of individual activity here. I see him. So probably he's going to have a solo, or maybe the fans know he's going to have a solo soon. But yeah, he has matured, starting with the Ace of Swords and the King of Wands. There's this strong man energy. He has matured a lot. And also with the Ace of Swords, I think that he has also, I'm so proud of him, because he's like speaking up. He's like this member of, but I don't see him more like a TXT member. I think that I see him like Jeonjun, like he himself, somehow speaking up and being very sharp and being very confident and being like, maybe you guys don't like what I do, or you don't support what I do, or you have critics towards me. Well, guess what? I'm going to keep showing up. So yeah, be prepared. He's like, I'm loving this, because he's like, I'm going to be in your faces. So, if you want to keep criticizing me, keep doing it, because I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. He's a showman. He's a man that he trained. He also loves attention. He's an entertainer. He was born to be an entertainer. Maybe he was born also to be like a soloist, because when I see the King of Wands, I'm like, I feel it like this is for him. And him standing out for himself and his own image. Or maybe, if there's people criticizing him individually, he's like, well, you're going to get tired of talking about me, because, I'm going to keep showing up, and I'm going to be popular, and I'm going to be, amazing. I'm going to be amazing. So, and in the middle, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So again, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money for him. If he's going to have investment on him, he has, the right resources. He has, everything that he needs for this. He's going to get it. And also, his popularity, he has always been very consistent. So I see him, that he's a member that maybe whatever he wants, he will get. If he's going to have a comeback, he's going to get the best of the best, because he is, and I think that this is not just about the company. Maybe in the industry, they really love him. And I guess that is great, because he does have the charisma. He does, create a path for himself. He's like, here I come. Hello, here I come. Like he's like, yeah, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but, I'm going to keep showing up, because this is what I do. I'm an entertainer. I'm an artist. So watch me. I love this. We have the Empress and we have the Hangman in the future. So, yeah, they're very excited to bring him to, they want to, or they promise him like, oh, you're going to have an amazing comeback. We're going to invest on you. We're going to give you this and this and this and this. There could be a bit of an interruption or a stop in some production. I think that he's not going to have his solo. I don't see like an interruption, but probably the outcome is not going to be that fancy. I don't know if they are like lacking resources, or if the resources are going somewhere else. But I think that and just work with whatever he has available. Maybe it's not going to be that fancy. It's supposed to be fancy. I see the money, so I'm either have to stop or they have to change certain things. So I can see that maybe it's going to lack a bit on quality, or there's something that maybe it's the visuals, or maybe the video is not going to be that, like it was supposed to be initially. or he will have to wait a bit. But yeah, it's just that I think that it's not up to him. It's more about, it's more about maybe the company. It's not that he's not, it's not that he's not giving what he's supposed to be giving. Because he's very attractive. He's a very attractive person. He's a very attractive idol. There's something about him having what it takes. It's just that, just like I said, when I read for JK, that I was like, I know you're anxious. I know you want to share, what you're working on. And I know, but 2025 is not the year. And there's something about Yeonjun's new project that also could have a bit of something in the middle that is like, what happened? A bit of having to wait, or things not looking as, amazing as they should look for someone like him. But yeah, the work is done. He has worked. But yeah, again, with the Hierophant and learn. So there's something about the cards being like, work with what you have. Don't wait for the company. Because if this happens, it's because they mess up in something. It's not about Yeonjun's work. It's about them messing up on something. So if they put you on hold, or if they interrupt something about your work, then maybe you have to unlearn certain things. Do not play by the book. Do not play by the rules. Do something different. Be original, and give the audience what they're looking for. Because I see that the audience is very excited to see him. He's a very attractive artist. He has a lot of charisma. There's a lot of people waiting. So if there's like an interruption, he's going to have to get, I don't know if he's going to have to promote it himself, or he's going to have to come out and say something. But the kind of unlearn is like, whatever they said that you should do, try to do the opposite. Like, don't play so fair. Because take charge. You got this. You got this. You got this. Don't let anyone stop you. You got this. Don't let anyone sabotage your hard work. Actress Jung So, current energy. Okay. Actress Jung So, current energy. Also, a lot of cups. This woman, again, another emotional person. But she's loving this. She's loving this. She's working on something, right? Because I see it. I see it. I mean, she's such a loving, like, whoever works with her, she's such a loving companion. She's, and also she's so talented herself. She's so talented herself. I think that she also probably wants to finish a project. She's like, it's not that she's tired, but maybe she has more than one project. So she has to finish this one in order to get into the bigger, or it's going to be more career. So we start with the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 3 of Cups. We have the Knight of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Cups. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, that is a cycles. So yeah, it feels like her and her career, it's all very positive, but it's all about, cycles. Maybe what she's been working on is going to be something that you're going to be like, okay, this that she's working on, the impact of what she's doing now is going to last a lot of years, or people are going to keep talking about this work. Probably these are like, works that she does, probably a drama or a movie, And it's going to be amazing, or it's going to be well received, because I see a lot of love. Also she's super talented. So, I think that whatever like project that she's in, people just are so, such a fan of her talent. I think that whoever works with her are very lucky to have her. So I can see that she's like having a lot of fun in this. There's a lot of friendship with the Three of Cups. It's like, I'm building a great community here. I'm loving my people, or I'm loving who I'm working with, and I feel so happy. But she's also looking at a new project. She's also looking at a new offer. So somehow her energy is like, yeah, I'm going to finish this. This was great. I had a great experience, but then I'm going to move on to something else. So, with the Wheel of Fortune, is like that it says cycles. For her probably are going to be this maybe small roles or smaller roles than the ones that she usually has. But it's going to be like cycles. Okay, you're going to see her doing this with this group of people, with maybe these co-stars, and it's going to be, oh, this was great, I'm loving this. But she's already moving on to something new. She's already like, maybe when you get to watch it, or when you get to see it, and appreciate it, and people start to, give it the love, then it's going to be announced that she's going to do something else. So I see her very adaptable. Also, the projects don't last that long, or probably the promotions happen very fast. Like, it's all about cycles now. I don't know why, with the Eight of Cups in the middle, is giving me like, for her, there's something about her being like, I cannot get attached that much, or I cannot talk that much about past projects, because I'm also concentrating on something new. So I have to move on. I have to move on. So if you guys start like shipping her with someone of a project that she's going to release soon, I see a lot of romantic roles, honestly. Yeah, because there's a lot of emotions here. But I would wait, because I know how people are sometimes, about co-stars. Oh, she's going to be working with this man. So how do they feel for each other, her and this man? I don't think that man is going to be the other one, the one that comes from the other project, the project that is not yet in the next year. That one is going to be more impactful. This one is like, oh yeah, this is like a small role, and I'm part of this. I love everyone, but I'm also being seduced with this new offer. So I see her working a lot, but she's so happy. She's so happy. It's just that it feels brief. And I don't know if maybe people that watches K-dramas, if you're going to start to notice the change. It's like it doesn't give you time for you to maybe get attached to certain plot, that it's like, oh, well, it's done. We're over with this. We are advancing to a new one. Or she's already talking about a new project. And you're like, but I just watched her recent one. Well, that's not the recent one. That's an old one that she just finished. Now, so it's all about cycles. I think that in this, telling me is that, probably when it comes to the K-drama productions and her future projects, the time that they invest in talking about this, and then they advance to the new one, because they have to move like this. They have to move very fast. Something about her, with the Eight of Cups in the end, being like, I had to remove my clothes. I have to, move, because I'm about to enter into a new project. And I'm sorry that it's that short, but this is how things are done now. It's more express. It's like an express like experience. Short projects or short dramas, or maybe shorter drama, that is really good and people love it, but it's like you will not have time to talk about it, because there's going to be a new one then. So yeah. But she's so happy. she's so happy. I do love it for her, because I think that whoever she's working with, there's like a vibe of we are family, we are like a great community. I love them, they love me. She's so happy. It's just that there's something about her. Oh, like I had a good time, but it didn't last that long. I wish this experience last longer. But I have to advance too. I have to advance in my career. I cannot stay here. I have to keep advancing. Maybe the K-drama production and everything is like moving very fast, and people maybe get bored easily. So they are like, she's like, I have to advance too. I cannot get attached to the past. I have to keep advancing. But there's work, thank God. So let's see about this issue with this person, Song DaEun and Jimin, that I believe I read for them in the past. But also I got a very one-sided thing. When he was in the military, I believe I read for her, but it was, I didn't get good vibes. I don't know. But yeah, let's see, now that we have Jimin, that Jimin is not in the military anymore, let's see his side, his part of the history, his part of the story, I would say. Let's see. Let's see both sides. Let's see. Song DaEun and Jimin. Song DaEun and Jimin. Yeah, I think that this happened a long time ago. I think that if there was something, there has to be healing as well. There has to be healing. There has to be a level of like, let's slow down. I think that they really care for each other. It's not, there's not like, a bad vibe. It's just that, maybe this was something that it started nice. It started very pleasantly. And I think that, at least from Jimin's part, I get that, he's a Libra, so it makes sense. He's like the more gentle one in the sense that, let's not make things complicated. Let's not get ugly with each other. Let's just not do that. She's intense. I when I read for her, I believe I got that is she a Leo or something like this? Is she a fire sign? Because it's giving me like, like she has a lot of things to say, or there's something about fairness that she wants to install that much. She's very assertive. I think that it's very interesting how the roles are reversing here. But I can also see, like if there was an attraction, I can sort of see it. But yeah, from her part, we have the Emperor and we have the Six of Pentacles. So very masculine, very. And from his part, we have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Empress. So see, he got the feminine card and she got the masculine card. So there's like a reverse, like a reverse role, I would say. And we have the Temperance and the card of the Page of Cups that is displayed. It's like maybe this wasn't that serious. Like, I don't know. I think that I sense in like a lot of intensity from her part. I feel it. I feel it like she's sort of commanding the reading. Like, this is not what happened. Like somehow like this, she's like shooting in my face. I feel it very like she wants to dominate maybe the narrative or maybe what has been said. And I think that from Jimin, I can sort of see him be like, wow. Whoa. Yeah. The Emperor and the Six of Pentacles. There's something about fairness, so this is why I'm like, I wonder if she has Libra placements, because there's something about about fairness, about and maybe a contract even. Could it be that there was a contract and she's like, the emperor is very bossy. The emperor is like, I have something to, I don't think, I don't have cards of communication. So it's not so much about like, I have something to say. It's more like, I want people to be fair about maybe what is being said or what is being shown, because I have the pentacles. So there's something about evidence, proof. So she's like, and she doesn't want to be bossed around. So I wonder if there was someone, maybe from a legal team or someone that came with a contract and it's like, you cannot do this, or you forgot that this you cannot. And I think that this is a woman that she hates to be. She has a thing about authority. She doesn't like to be told what to do because she's very dominant herself. She's very dominant, she's very independent, she's very proud of herself. There's a strong feeling of I built myself, I am this. She's also very good at starting things. She's a bit masculine, I would say. But she's I don't know about her lifestyle or what, but it seems like she's very centered in herself. It can be a bit selfish, if you see it from her part, like trying to, but maybe there's something that she felt like people were pushing her to say or do something that she's like, why? Why? If I'm being honest, if I'm speaking my truth, you will not move me from here. My experience is my authority. And this is a very authoritarian person. If I was Jimin, I would stay away from someone like this because it seems like she had always been like this. She had always been, very bossy, very like, oh yeah, the one that she's like, let's do things like this. And she would grab you and be like, come with me and let's do this. And you would be like, she has an interesting dominant temper, so. But yeah, with the Six of Pentacles, I think that she wants a sort of recognition or she wants an apology or something like this. She's like, things need to be fair. Things need to be fair. You don't get to push me around. So yeah, she could be a bit conflictive, a bit like someone that can bring conflict, because I don't see her backing down. I don't see her being like, oh, I'm sorry. Like even if she says I'm sorry, I think that she's waiting for something from Jimin. I don't know what. But I don't know. Yeah, from Jimin's part, the Knight of Pentacles and the Empress. From Jimin is like, Jimin is very receptive towards, maybe what she's doing or what she has to say. He's also very patient with her. He's like, yeah, I understand. I understand where you come from. I understand what you say. He's also been very responsible about his part. He's like, yeah, proof, I approve, because the Pentacles is like a very, it's based on evidence. It's about the material. It's like you have material. Maybe she has his stuff, his things, and she wants him to give you. It's not about money, but it's like, do you have things of mine? I want you to give me back I want you to do something material for me, like for evidence. And he's like, well, I'm going to take my time, but I'm going to do it. He's the softer one here. He's like, he's like accepting it. He's like, okay, I understand. But he's like slow at the same time. He's like, okay, and it's, maybe they have to talk about something about, she's waiting for something for him from his part. And he's like, okay, I get your demands. I get what you want. Okay, I will do it. Give me time. There's something about him, and I think that probably this conversation happened a long time ago. Like, give me time. I will do it in my moment when the time is right. but he's like, yeah, his energy is totally opposite of hers. He's like, okay, I understand why you're upset. I understand. He feels like a mother figure to her, sort of trying to calm her down, and be like, okay, you're trying to be the understanding one, um, trying to help her even. Um, I don't know. I think he wants to calm her down, like you don't have to get like that, maybe trying to help her understand that you don't have to get that aggressive, because I think that he's not like that. But he's like, I will do what you want me to do when the time is right. So maybe, because she's so bossy, maybe she wants to speed up time, or she's like, I waited enough. I waited 2 years. Why didn't you do anything? But I think that they're going to be okay. Maybe she's going to get a recognition, something that is going to calm her down. And we have, the page of Calice's play. So it's not even that. It's not. I think that it's not going to end. I think that it's not. It's something between them, yes, but it's also. I don't want to say like it's innocent. It sounds like they are. Maybe people are like, oh, they have issues with each other. No, no. Maybe she has issues against other people or the company, because I see her being like, tell your people that they cannot tell me what to do, or they cannot come in here. There's something about her feeling like they are getting on her boundaries. So it's like, tell your people to calm down. But I think that also his way is like, I think that they're okay with each other. They can still be friends even, I don't think, because with the card play, there's like this flirtatious kind of part, that they're laughing about this at the end. It's not, they're not heartbroken, or there's no betrayal. It's just that, she's like she's very firm, and she's very reactive. So she's like, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to do something. So yeah, maybe it's to stop, if there's some people harassing her, but she's a tough person. She's not going to back down. So yeah. Hmm. Hopefully, idols can maintain their lives outside the scrutiny of Rabbit and other fans. They deserve that and more. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of understand, because I think that, especially, well, if you are associated with a BTS member, I think that, that's why, if you go back to the readings that I did for the BTS members, when I read specifically for JK, especially for the Magne line, things get, very, very ugly all of a sudden. But for JK, I think that this, even scares who wants to get this harassment. No one. It's like I think that from their perspective, it's like, yeah, I like him, but not so much to have to deal with this. Like, they really have to find a very trusting, loving, and understanding partner that is able to somehow be like, what if someday something goes out, or and I think that not the international fans, but I think that maybe the fans, the real fans, the real fans and the not so real fans, the Sasangs, I'm sure they know who they're dating. They know who their partners are. They know it. It's just that I think that, for JK, it was so sad for me too, because I'm like, there's going to be a moment where they are going to scare people away from him. Like, he cannot even like try to start a connection with someone, that they are going to spoil it, because they're going to find out who it is, and they're going to start harassing the person, and it's not like they start like talking because they're just talking. They start showing evidence, or talking because, the harassment started a long time ago, and so they and this person, even though I don't agree with her approach, or there's something about her energy that I find a bit like much, but I'm not in her situation. I don't know her, so, I don't know. But I think that there's something about her in particular that is very brave. That probably this is something that maybe some fans or some people that speculate around potential partners of theirs, they want to drag the potential partner into a moment of like, you surrender, you leave him alone, you don't see him again. They love to bring down the person, until the person is like, okay, no, I cannot do this, I'm afraid, I cannot do this, I give up, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you anymore. And this person in particular is very brave. She's very courageous. She's like, they want to harass me, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to show what I have, or I'm going to do. And it's always like, it's always shown from a place of desperation, of course. And for her place, I see it more like fighting, like fighting, defending, standing her ground. But I think that they probably are used to scaring certain people away, like menacing them, threatening them, and they are used to getting their way. But in this case, this woman, somehow hasn't shut up. They weren't able to keep her quiet, and this is, and I'm not saying, the fans, I know that the fans don't support this, and I know that there's fans that they're like, this is their lives, we shouldn't, be doing this. But I think that there's people that they have the information, they know them, and they do the work. They do it, they know. Because they feel so entitled. They are like monsters. You're not going to stop them. They're going to get what they want. Yeah, fans like that need to be left behind. Yeah, because they feel entitled. They feel like queen bees. Really, they feel like they own their lives. Like, okay, you can be friends with this and not with this. This is why, but they are smart, because when B and Jenny, when they were seen in France, in Paris, even though there's a lot like, oh, it wasn't them, oh no, it was them, no, but did you see how, even though I'm sure they harassed her, and anyone that is associated with DaEun, of course, but if you see the attitude of them, being seen like this, and also of, them being open about like, okay, are you curious about us? I will let you see a bit, and I will not apologize. So that's also like, this is my attitude towards what you're doing. You want me to stop? I'm going to stop, because it's my life, and I hang out with whoever I want. So it was like, do you want to see? Do you want evidence? Are you tired of, stealing pictures? I will give you a video. I think that it was one of the bravest things that an idol has ever done, and I, we don't care. We are like, okay, what is the nature of the relationship right now? Maybe it's complicated, maybe it's not anymore. But back then, they did it. They even won, this patch. They even gotta be the head of this patch. So, idols can be brave. Of course, there's consequences. Of course, there's consequences. There's always consequences. But, if you're determined, show them who is the boss. Hey, Fluffy. Okay, I'm going to continue multiple cards for Ayu and how she feels about, her career and the industry, since, this person mentioned something about her being like a veteran in this industry, because it's been, I believe, 17 years since she has been part of the industry. So let's see how she's feeling currently about her career and the industry. Let's see. Mm. She's feeling very possessive of her career, actually. Like I see a lot of attachment, a lot of attachment, a lot of attachment. Um, um, Also, there's a lot of possessiveness about her career or her future projects, being very, I see a lot of fixation, like it's not about her needing to hold on tight to her career, but there's something about her just being very possessive about her future projects or what she does or what she's going to do. And also there's a lot of secrecy. There's something about her not telling. Maybe in the past she used to be very trusting and she used to tell people about her future projects, and now she's like, no, I don't talk about it anymore. We have the High Priestess, we have the Devil, we have the Four of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Pentacles that it says skill development. Skill development. So if this is not like a reading for an earth sign, yeah, it feels very experiences about the industry is the same, is that there's a lot of power play. There's a lot of there's like a domination about who is in and who is out. And I think that she's fighting this. Also the High Priestess is that probably, she had seen or she knows things about, certain people being controversial or certain people not playing fair. And she's like, I did get to see the ugly side of people in this industry. It's very toxic, and this is a very toxic industry, a very toxic environment. I think that it fits off each other. A very toxic and heavy environment of who owns the artist. There's a lot of attachment. There's a lot like, oh, you cannot do this because, we will stop loving you if you do this, or we will not work with you, or we will not have if you. So I think that for her it's like, when I wanted to create something different for myself, I just didn't talk about it, or I went away, or I remain silent. I don't share it with others because there's a potential of. Sorry, guys, I'm starting to disconnect again. I don't know what is it. If it's a phone, I don't know. It's not the internet. The internet works well. But with the Four of Pentacles, there's this of like, I'm not going to be defeated. I'm living of this. I'm not done yet. So I'm going to keep resisting. I'm going to keep resisting and holding on my space, my status, my work. I'm going to defend my work and why I do what I do. And also, the page is that the skill development. She still has a lot of skills. She's still working on herself as if she wasn't as if she was just starting. She's learning new things. She's learning new things to incorporate to her craft. So she's working. She's like, I'm not going to stop. I know that there's probably people that are like, you should step down a bit because you have been here for a while. She's like, no, I still have a lot of things to show. I have, this is my place. I earned this place in the industry. No one is moving me from here. No one. No one. So yeah, there's a lot of ugliness in this industry. There's a lot of domination. There's someone always that is more powerful, or someone that has the money, the influences, trying to hush her, trying to get her to not do things or to not speak about certain things. And she's like, she doesn't give an answer. She just remains silent. She remains silent, even if maybe this could be also potential fans or haters, trying to also, get her to not do certain things. And she's like, I'm remaining in my posture. No one is moving me from here. So yes, she has a lot still to prove, to show, to share with people. There's a lot of skills in her, a lot of sides of herself that she wants to, to learn. And there's some things that she wants to unlearn also. There's something about her also being like, I should unlearn certain things and start over and learn new things, like how do kids do things these days, very hardworking woman, very hardworking. Okay, I'm going to continue with the last one that I have is Hao of Zero Base One and Yuqi of I-dle. I know they had this collaboration that it was so cool, and people wanted to know about their friendship. Hao, Yuqi. Oh, what happened? Their cards are so positive about each other, but why do I have the Three of Swords in the middle? Like, what happened? Like, again, people are in the middle. Yeah. It's the same dynamic, the toxic dynamic of like, yeah, we love our idol, but we don't want to see them near the opposite sex. We don't care how talented they are. We don't want them to be associated with each other. That's what's happened. But yeah, from Hao's perspective of Zero Base One, we have the Knight of Cups and the Sun. So he loves her so much. And I think that he just feels like a child. Maybe if they work together, if they had spent time together, there's just this very silly vibe, this like very playful vibe. He's so sweet. He's so sweet. He's such a sweet. He seems very feminine for a man, very gentle. His feminine side, it feels. And I know when I read for him, I got the Empress, so I remember I don't know much about him, but he always gives me this feminine vibe. Like, he's so gentle, he's so understanding, he's so sweet, a gentleman, definitely, but he's so fun as well. He's so fun. And I don't know what kind of friendship they have, or if they had been friends for a while, but so cute, and he loves her so much. He's like he's I don't know why I want to say he's such a clown, but he's so funny on purpose, so funny. Zero Base One, Hao I-dle Yuqi. But yeah, he's so sweet. He's so sweet, and also he feels so creative when he's with her. It's like, I don't know if they act together or if they have to do a lot of role play together, but he is hilarious, or he is so good when he enters into character. There's something about him being really good. I don't know, being sweet or flirting, or he's so playful. There's something just very playful, and he's so respectful as well. There's something just, if they're friends, I see that he's such a gentle friend, a good friend, really. And yeah, from her part, we have the Star and we have the Eight of Pentacles. So for her, I think that she's like, yeah, what we have in common is that we work really hard to be stars, or to be, appreciated as stars. I think that from her part, she really sees him like a valuable friend. but she also feels like, maybe he is this because we have the sun and the Knight of Cups. So probably, he's very popular or he has a lot of charisma. So I think that for her, it's like, I have to step up my game when I'm with him because I have to work harder because he's such a star or he's such a magnetic person that I have to catch up to his energy. I have to shine as well, or I have to do better when I'm with him. She's always working on herself. She's a very hardworking person. She's probably, she's giving me Virgo vibes. Is she Virgo? But she probably is very, she's very exigent with herself. She's very tough on herself. She's like, I have to be better. I have to be better. I have to be better. Very analytical, very, very hardworking. And but at the same time, it's because, she's like, I have to shine when I'm with him because he's so important. He's so important. And maybe there's something, there's a bit of rigidness in her. She probably is someone that even if they are relaxing, she's always thinking about improving, about being better at work or being better at her part, but with the star card, I think that she's someone that she has this star quality. It's just that she doesn't see it. She doesn't see it. This is why maybe, with someone like him, he helps her relax. This is why he's so clumsy, so playful with her, because he's like, relax. You are shining. You are a star on your own. So stop overthinking. Stop overthinking. Stop overthinking. You are great. You are doing great. You are amazing the way you are. She's very rigid on herself. Maybe, she was trained. There's something about her being trained or being, she studied, and this is the way she works. She's very focused on being the best, but yeah, the connection is 3 of Swords and 10 of Wands. That is a burden. So probably, yeah, in the future, maybe, there could be a bit of disconnection because the 10 of Wands is giving me like, they feel like they are a burden for each other. I don't know if it's because the fans don't like it and the fans feel threatened by, them being associated with each other, or them just because I see that he's so happy when he sees her. He's like, oh, there he is, he's so funny. But I don't know, maybe, for their image or what the audience wants, this is not something that they want to see. So I can see that, maybe their connection can be interrupted, or maybe the feedback, maybe they had a lot of fun and the feedback was not that good, or people were like, oh, I don't like her, or oh no. But yeah, the 10 of Wands is like, it's heavy when people criticize, or maybe there's a part of the fandom or someone's fandom from his part pushing, so he doesn't see her that often because I think that they don't like it. They don't like it, and they are heavy on the influence from his part. Maybe these are like, very influential fans on his side, but they are like, yeah, we don't like this that you did with her. Don't do it again. Sad that they have these crazy fans. Sad. He's so cute. He's so cute. He's such a cutie. I don't know about him, but I just think that his energy is so cute. Do you guys have any more recommendations? Because I'm going to go. I apologize for the interruptions. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if it's the phone because the internet is working. So I don't know. I don't know what is it. But yeah, when it goes crazy like this, it stops. Yeah, it stops working. On Wednesday, I will probably Fluffy. I will probably do the second part of the astrological placements that we did, especially because I want to try to show as many of the placements and cards that that not all of them. I will not be able to do all of them, but yeah, I will recreate the list that you mentioned. So I have the list already of some idols before I talk about the placement. So it can be more agile, more like faster. And yeah, I hope the rest of my internet works. But yeah, the voice. Okay, yes, yes. Because I will try to write it down on my notebook. So I have the list, and while we are reading, if we come up with another person, or if there's someone that is like, oh, I remember this idol, we can bring this. So I also can create the timestamps so people don't get crazy about like who is she talking about? What is this? But I found it very I like it actually. I liked our conversations. I think that and a lot of people watch it, even though the quality of the video was awful and there were a lot of interruptions, a lot of glitching. It was awful. I apologize, guys, for the interruptions. I know you guys at the beginning you said that there was something off with the video, but there's not much what I can do. I hope it gets better next time. Today it happened and I had to restart the live. But yeah, I don't know what is it because the internet is working. I don't know, maybe it's the phone. I have no idea. But yeah, I did enjoy the astrological. Yeah. You still have the crown. Yeah, I do. I don't know how because I didn't place it with now that you say it, I kind of see it, but I didn't place it with that. Thank you for noticing. So yeah, guys, this was fun. My face is a sun, yes. Okay, guys. Thank you, Hope. Thank you so much. Thank you. I do what I can, guys, to keep you entertained. I know it's not much, but thank you so much for being with me. Otherwise, I will be here by myself, just talking. But thank you so much. I know these times are not the best, and there's a lot of things going on. But we will make it. We have to make it. There's no other way but to advance it. The road is ahead. So yeah, we are trying our best. We are all trying our best. Yeah. Even though got free today, yes, because they're at my dad's. Yeah, because I can't with them. Yes, I can with them. They interrupt me all the time. I think that Kali is sort of learning, to stay quiet. Sometimes she jumps on the table and she eats, and she's much more mature now. But she also is very loud. She meows, and because she's used to, me answering back, so she's like very talkative. But yeah, guys, I will see you on Wednesday then. Enjoy your Sunday, and yeah, I will see you on Wednesday. Have a lovely day. Bye.